Hello everyone, thank you for visiting the channel. This is All Wrestling Madness. Today we're going to be talking about selling things on eBay and what works for me when it comes to selling. So, the first thing I'm going to talk about is cards. So the first thing I started posting was my Pokemon cards and my baseball cards, if I had any basketball cards laying around. Um, Now the problem with selling cards, my buddy recommended it. He says, I sell baseball cards. However, he said he was doing pretty good. It's very hard. Say you have 100, 200 cards, you could be there for hours looking up every single price. And a lot of the cards aren't worth the shipping. So the shipping might be $1.25, $2 to ship out the card. And the card might only be worth $2. So you're going to be there, you're going to be searching up a lot of products, you're going to be doing a lot of research on what the values are of these items, of these cards. Um, Not that there is no value in it, there's definitely value, and it can be definitely beneficial to you if you know what you're doing. Now, what I have here is a Pokemon card actually. So, when it comes to buying and selling these, it's hard, I'm telling you. Because, for one, you got to buy the cards. The cards are pretty up in price right now, unless you can get like a very good deal on the cards. They're usually like $5+ a pack. So you buy a 10 pack of cards. You know, they're usually 5+. If you go to the mall, it's $8. What I would normally have to do is buy the card. I got the penny sleeve, which is like a very thin plastic sleeve, which is money. And then you got a top loader to keep them protected, which is more money. So think about this when you're gonna try to sell them, because you know what? The packaging for this, it could possibly be the price of the card, or at least nearby it on average. So also, you need something to ship it out. A lot of people, they send it in just basic envelopes, which I'm sure it's fine, but I like to put it in a bubble mailer, keep it like this, pop it in. Again, these cost money, the bubble mailers, but if you're going to get into selling, you're going to want bubble mailers, you're going to want to get everything in bulk, see what works for you. That's the main thing. But yeah, selling cards is hard. You gotta look up the prices. This might only be worth $4, but you know what? There might be another seller that's willing to sell it for $3, and your card might not sell. So it's a it's a hard selling business. Definitely, selling cards is difficult. Now another one I would this one, it's like a recommendation of mine that does actually sell, but it depends on the item. So here we have just a basic coin. I like to sell coins. It's difficult. It's a very difficult market because not every coin is worth money. Again, it's another one of those things where you got to do your research and figure out what makes it something worth money. Now, a lot of times it's how many were made, what's the condition of the coin, is there any defects that occurred in the mint, I should say, when it was first being made. Was there any defects? Because sometimes you never know, because these things get tossed around, thrown around, and it could have just got stuck in between a friggin' train, or you never know what happens to these coins. But the defects can cause the coin to go up in value. Another thing that I like to recommend that actually does sell coins. Like I said, it's a hard market because you got to know what the value is, and again, it could only be worth face value. This nickel could only be worth 5 cents. So the question is, would somebody pay more than 5 cents and shipping to get this nickel? Well, it depends if the coin's worth more than 5 cents. That's really what it comes down to. Same thing with the card. Is the card worth more than it's printed? Um, Now, what I do notice that does sell, coins are hard, but say that coin is 80 or 90% silver, there's a lot of people, as soon as I post something silver, very friendly buyers that are willing to help you out and, try to get a deal off you, no big deal. So they'll ask, they'll be like, all right, I picked up a couple of these coins. They were all silver, 90%. Do you have any more? Are there any, do you have any more dimes? Do you have any more quarters? I was going to say nickels. You have any more quarters? You got any more Morgan dollars? And then not only that, but you have these guys these people that really want specific coins, silver, etc. But there's also people putting in offers. So you might get a lower offer than you'd prefer. You could always hold out, but again, what's nice about these coins, they have generally a value to them that is stuck with them. So say you get a quarter, like a silver quarter, just say, doesn't matter the year. Well, what's the silver worth? Alright, well, maybe, maybe set it to that price, you know. Um, it's pretty much, from what I've seen, is a pretty average amount that someone will pay for a silver quarter, you know. Just because of the fact that it has silver in it. Less to do with the year, yes, less to do with the production. More or less just, oh, that's a silver quarter. Okay, I'll pay this much for it. It's kind of nice to have like a set base price to something. And silver coins generally have a pretty set base price, but it depends on the year, of course. Every year is different. Every year is produced differently. So some coins might be worth more, but as far as down to like the minimum someone would pay for what they could call what do they call it, like scrap silver, kind of scrap coin silver, something like that. It's like basically what would someone pay for the bare minimum coin in the worst condition, just because it has silver in it. That's generally, a lot of the coins that I have are literally just that. It's like you barely see what's on them. People still buy them because it's silver. Again, there may be some legality issues with that. As far as I believe there's some rules and regulations behind if you can melt them. I don't believe you can. So maybe they're just waiting on it. Maybe they're just keeping it for the value of the silver itself. It's good to collect. A lot of people like to collect it. So again, next we're going to get on to our next thing. We got banknotes. Believe it or not, they have been selling. I tend to sell them a little cheaper. So that's another thing, I sell the banknotes a little cheaper than what they're probably worth. So they do sell. I don't really know how to package them. If you guys can leave in the comments on how do you feel you should package them. What I would normally do is I would take a couple of these, pop it on top like that, tape them together. I know it's kind of like random. They'd be around the same size, but I would tape them together and around, and then I put cardboard on the outside, and then I place it in a bubble mailer or a box, depending. I'm not the best with this, but when I tape it, it keeps everything very stiff, like nothing really moves, and it feels good. That, for me, that's like the main thing. Try to not to have the product moving too much, flexing too much, etc. Alright, so we'll get on to the next topic. Selling tech on eBay. So there's a lot to it. Especially if there's any problem with that tech, you always want to make sure you're testing everything you sell, unless you're going to put it as untested, because you never know. If it's just a couple dollar item, no big deal, just pay them a refund, no big deal. But if it's a $200 item, you're going to want to test that item. Like a graphics card you can get for fairly cheap, and I know a lot of people do resale on cards like that, so there's a lot of money to be made. But you just got to be careful, because say you buy a card, it doesn't work say you buy it from a buyer, or just from a buyer on eBay, and then the card doesn't end up working, and then you go to resell it, then that's where the problem lies. Because if you went and tested that card prior to selling it, then you could have had a claim going for possibly returning it to the buyer. Or say you even have one in your room or down in the basement. You just want to get rid of it. Um, if that card doesn't work and you ship it out, there's a better chance that the buyer is going to win if they want a refund, especially if it's broken. If that card doesn't work, one, he's going to get his money back. Two, there is a possibility that you don't receive that card back, and he gets his money back. So they get their money back. You know what I mean? So there's a lot to it. Just make sure you're testing your components before you sell anything. Anywhere from graphics cards, processors, RAM, depending on the age of the RAM. A lot of stuff sells. It sells fairly quick. You know what? Also, I got into. I wanted to buy bulk crossfire bridges because I got a crossfire bridge and I sold it because I don't really use crossfire. I like the idea of crossfire and SLI, but it never really picked up. But I sold the crossfire bridge. As soon as I sold it, well, as soon as I listed it, it sold. So I feel like there's probably a market for like crossfire bridges and SLI bridges, just electronics in general. Alright, another thing I was thinking, iPods. Now iPods are very difficult because yes, there's a lot of money to be made, but I will say this. I tried it. They're like, let's say you buy a wholesale of parts, a lot of iPods. Um, it's everything, even though the iPods are, I believe, no longer being made, they are all locked. They might have been locked 10 years ago. They might have been locked 5 to 6 years ago. That person may have never even used it in the last 10 years. It might have been out of their possession for that long. But they're still locked. And legally, I don't believe you could do anything about that. So, again, I think Apple should do something about it because there's a lot of locked iPods that are just no longer being used. A lot of people don't use them. They just don't need them anymore. So, they're still out there. Not saying they should lock someone's friggin' stolen iPod, you know what I mean? But I think they should start unlocking older products and make it a little easier to figure it out. If it was claimed stolen, then to be fair, you should always send it back to the owner. If it was claimed stolen, it's someone else's. Especially if it's locked. I mean, if it's locked, it's someone else's. But it's just a matter of, I don't know what it is. But so basically, the iPods are hard to get into. They do sell, especially if you buy a used broken lot and fix them up. They will sell. If they're unlocked, they're very easy to sell. But the legality of unlocking somebody's iPod that you think is not owned because you bought it through eBay is very, very, you know, not legal, I'm sure, but um, there's money in the business. It's just a matter of it being unlocked. If it's unlocked, then you're good. No, it's not anyone's ownership. Hopefully, Apple will go about figuring out what they should do with these old Apple iPods. You know, kind of sucks. I wanted one for myself. All right. Other than, there's just a lot of technology. People buy and sell MP3 players all the time. People collect MP3 players, so that's probably worth checking out. Again, I guess that'll be it for now. I'll be wrapping it up, but if I figure out anything else I could think of, I'll add to it. Thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe. My subscribe would be right on the left over here, or the right, depending. At the bottom will be my Robinhood and my Firstrade accounts. If you're looking into investing in stocks, this would be where you want to start. Use those links, get a free stock. Also, I'll have my bonfire listed at the bottom. We sell our All Wrestling Madness t-shirts. Here's one here. All Wrestling Madness Studios production. So, thanks again everyone for watching. Everyone have a good night. Enjoy your Tuesday.